chapter wherein we are discussing since uh, quite few days Vasistha, while explaining the story of the golden rock, he was explaining the secret or the real state of the whole creation. Creation is compared with the absolute truth. How does this creation look like? How it appears to be? So this is what he wanted to explain to Ram, Vasistha, to clear out the view about the creation and its dissolution also. If creation is if at all it is there, then it will be dissolved. And how the creation starts and how it exists, who takes care of it, and how does it dissolve, and where does it go after dissolution. All these facts and figures, everything is dependent upon the thought process. And that universal thought process in a total form is known as the Creator. And the Creator has created and he will dissolve also. And somehow it is taken care of for some time. And then when the creation starts, there starts three factors, three qualities which appear first, and those three qualities also are known as time, space and conditions. So, how time, space and conditions play their roles in creation and how the thought process goes on eternally multiplying and expanding, and how does it end? How does it end? That is called dissolution. So, if the Creator, which is nothing but the totality of the thought process, and which is centered on one, so that one is starting point, and the whole group, whole total will be the creation, and it will be endless because it is created by only imaginations. So imagination is nothing but it is not conditioned by time, space and situations or other facts. It is beyond all this. When the imaginations or thoughts they manifest, the moment they manifest all these facts and figures, they have to be there. And it goes on changing in a particular process. So that process is called creation process, creative process. So before this creation, there should be a will to create, or else you cannot. Before doing anything, you have to think of it. How to do, what for, what is the purpose, what is the achievement, what is the result of your doing, and when, where, how, all these questions come, and on all these questions you have to think. Then only you can do something. This is common things we can understand if we analyze any action. Creation is nothing but an action. It is cosmic action, and our life is based on action and reaction. Where there is action, there will be reaction. And without action, Gita says, nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Nobody, by no means, one can remain without acting, without action for a moment even. And that action is nothing but, when we analyze, action is nothing but movement. Movement. And that is known as Jivan, also life. Life means movement. Life has to go on. And life is not only actions by your five senses of actions, but the five senses of knowledge also, they are involved in it. Those five senses of your knowledge elements, knowledge senses, they have to direct these five senses of action, then only these action can be done. And behind that, behind the five senses of knowledge, the mind has to direct everything to the body movement and movement of the limbs of the body, that is karma indriyas, the senses of action, and to motivate the senses of knowledge, five. In this way, mind has to regulate, direct, guide everything. He is the all in all. And mind also cannot work. Mind means the exact situation of mind is nothing but a flow of thought waves. And when two thought waves clash with each other, that means get together, and the third diagonal force is created, the third thought comes out, that is called decision. When two sides are there, see how judges, they give the decision. When there is fight between two parties, then only the decision is to be given. So, that is the law of physics. When two forces act against each other, the diagonal force is created. It is nature's law. And that is called, in thought process, that is called decisive thought. And those decisive thoughts again, they get together to decide some other things. In this way, say, when we play league matches in football, or in cricket, so many teams are there, and final we have to select one, and the cup holder, winner. So that is just the process in thoughts, thought waves. Mind creates many teams, many thoughts, and slowly two teams play against each other. The winner will be decided, and that winner will play with the other winner. In this way, league match goes on. And finally, in quarter final, how many will be there? 4. Quarter final. Semi-final 4. Quarter final 8. So quarter final will find out two parties. That means two winners have to be decided. So two parties will play against each other, another two parties. So semi-final will bring out two fighters, two winners. And final will be played with two teams. And the winner will be the the cup holder, winner. Exactly the same way the thought waves work. Many thoughts will be decided and some decisive thoughts are taken, and it is called intellectual process, and then comes the semi-final, and in final two teams play against each other. Final is called what does it call? It is said, how it is said. In thought process, who decides the winner? Who is the referee in final two teams? Who is the referee? Discrimination, the power of discrimination. Discrimination decides which is permanent, which is impermanent. Impermanent is holder of runner cup, and permanent, the cup is given it forever. So discrimination, the power of discrimination decides in the end what is reality and what is the changing process on reality. This way the mind works, fourfold mind works. And ego, of course, it is how we can take it. This is the manager of all these teams. Everywhere it will be there. Ego. All these teams are managed by the ego. Mind and intellect, everything, and discriminative power also. Everything is, everywhere this ego is present. Director, Director General, everywhere he is present. In this way, the thought process works, and by the help of 5 units of senses, that is Sabda, Sparsha, Rup, Ras, Gandh, which activates the senses, five senses of knowledge, and the particular unit will work through particular respective sense. And what does it do? It gets contact with this sense object. And this is how we know the world outside us. And we know also our body and our composition of five elements of the body. Everything is in this way. So now, mind is the director of the uh, Bollywood or Hollywood. All the dramas will be directed by the mind. Mind, fourfold mind. So, the creation is nothing but the director's direction, which is universal director, cosmic mind. And cosmic thought waves is nothing but all these play of cosmic mind. And that is called creation. And it is there when the Creator thinks all this, when he withdraws the thoughts, withdraws the mind and keeps quiet, all this creation ceases to appear. They disappear, they are not there. And again when he starts thinking, again it will appear. So this is how the real process of the mind which creates and dissolves. Both the things are done by mind only. So when Vasistha was explaining the story of golden rock and all these details, the Creator inside the universe there, and the creative power, that is the Saraswati, the divine power of that creation there, and how they are related, how Vasistha was invited therein, and how the Creator warned him to be careful because the time for dissolution was there. So Vasistha came out and he was charged with those types of thoughts, tuned, we might say. His mind was tuned by those types of thoughts created by that particular cosmic will, that is Creator. Don't think cosmic will will be one. Means a total mind, the Creator. There are so many creations. That is what Vasistha narrated before it. And when Vasistha came out of that creation, because his mind was tuned with those types of thought waves, so he could see the dissolution outside the creation. Just as we can see any channel in your TV which you want to see, that channel you can see. You want to see the sports, you can see. And no, I don't want to see sports now. I want to see Operation Sindoor. There's some news channels. No, I want to see animal planets. That also will be there, but everything will not be at a time. Whatever you tune, it will be seen. Tuning. And our mind is tuned by our cosmic mind. We cannot go against it. And that cosmic mind is nothing but the power of the cosmic creator. The willpower, knowledge power, and creative power. These three powers, they act and they control the whole creative process. And our mind will be a part and parcel of it. So we are not completely free. Of course, we can have our freedom. That is called liberation. That is called realization of the truth. We can go beyond it, just as Vasistha came out of that creation. Similarly, we can get out of this creation. What is where you are in, you can get out of it. Of course, Vasistha was a jnani, and when you can control your mind, all these thought process, and make it still, and if you get the power of tuning the mind, you can think whatever you like to think. That is tuning and control over the mind. And the jnanis, though they have no mind, yet they can create the mind and they can tune the mind as they like. Just as you play with your TV channels. So also, who has got the remote, he can do anything and everything. So the jnanis have the remote of the mind. Whenever they want, they can stop it. You don't see your television all through 24 hours. When you go to bed, you stop it. So similarly, Brahma, when goes to bed, he withdraws his mind. And next day, when he gets up, again he opens the television. And that is thought process. Goes on changing. All these, whatever we see as a creation, it is nothing but only changing thought process which we know as the nature or Maya or the creative power. In other words, we call it the controller of whole creation, that is controlling power, niyati, we call deciding factor. All the decisions are taken by the niyati, the overall controller. In this way, the whole creation acts, and Vasistha explains, clarifies the secret of the creation. It is nothing but a thought process. Thought process is nothing but imaginary process, imaginations. Just as you cannot do anything without thinking, first comes your imagination, then it slowly gets repeated and it gets a gross form again and grosser. In this way, the imaginations becomes thoughts, thoughts becomes, they have relation with the sense objects, and this is how the whole thought process goes on repeating again and again. Whatever impressions are collected, they are charged with a force to multiply, because it is started with that. One becomes many. And every thought will try to become many. That's how the thought process goes on for eternity. And this is how the creation also has no end. Creation means unending story. Unending stories. So, Vasistha wants to clarify the whole world is nothing but only imaginations. So whatever I have explained to you through the story of Golden Rock, my dear Ram, it is only a story. Don't think it is reality. And similar is the story of your so-called world. Only imaginations. A comparison is given to you to understand and analyze between the story of the creation within the golden rock and your creation. Both are the same. You may question, Vasistha used to say, the different worlds he saw before entering into that golden rock creation. Everything is in only imagination. So he gave the clue to Ram. As you imagine, you can see that creation in that way. So many different universes he saw while moving towards that golden rock in between. All these imaginations, because he was going to see that universe, so naturally mind will work on universe. And mind is mind, let it be Vasistha's mind or creator's mind or your mind. Mind process is same everywhere. So before going to enter into that golden rock creation, Vasistha was thinking about the universe inside it. So naturally, mind will go on thinking different kinds of how it will be. When you think about a person who is absent, not before you, how will you think? What will you think? Is there any limit to it? Anything and everything you can think over it, which is not before you. Isn't it? This is the nature of mind. But who is present, whom you are seeing, you cannot think endlessly on him. You can think endlessly on a person which is not before you, which is absent. To search for him, how he will be, where he will be, when he will be present. So in this way, innumerable questions you go on replying and go on thinking. This is absent is a problem. Presence is not problem. So, this world is absent only, absence of the reality, which is not visible to you. And invisibility is due to some envelope, some covering. And that is your search for the presence. That is the cause why you are not able to see the presence, means which is the reality.
Search for your own presence.
That is nothing but your own real presence. You have forgotten your own reality and you are searching, who am I? Where am I? Where can I get some pleasure? Real pleasure is within you. Within you means in you. And that is called self-realization. And that also is known as liberation from bondage. Bondage, you go on searching everywhere again and again, and thereby you get attached to the searching process. That is, you are searching the truth in all these names and forms which cover the truth. You are searching the covered boy which is covered by a blanket or by an quilt. He is sleeping totally covered up in winter night, and you are searching for the boy over the covering. Where he will be? Where he will be? Array, it is dark room and so many children are sleeping here because it is winter night. So everybody is covered up. And you are searching in dark night in that room where so many boys are sleeping. You are searching for your particular boy. How can you get? You have to light the lamp first, and then you have to discover. That is how discovery is meant. Discovery means to take out the covering and to see the reality. That is called discovery. The truth is already there. There is no invention in philosophy. Invention word is meaningless. Everything is only discovery. Understood? Discovery has real meaning. Invention is a word which has got no meaning. Of course, in philosophy, every word will have so many meanings. Of course, everything is composed by the pairs of opposites, which is positive and negative. So, your invention also has no one meaning. What can you invent? How can you invent something which is not there? Simple logic. Huh? Simple logic. How can you invent something, see something which is not there? That is the definition of invention. To bring out something new. Here everything is old. Nothing is new. Sanatan, ever existing truth. Truth cannot be absent. If it will be absent, it will be absent forever. The absent cannot be present. The present cannot be absent. This is the law. So how can you invent something? You have to discover which is covered up. That is possible, isn't it? So in philosophy, we don't have multiplication, only we have divisibility. We don't have you see, invention, we have only discovery. In this way, we have no directions, east and west or north or south. It has got no meaning in philosophy because sun is round and earth is round and everything is round here. So everything turns up. So there is no direction, particularly named as east or west or up or down. Nothing is there. And in this way, if you go on analyzing the meaning of the words, all the words have no meaning. Why only invention? Discovery also, when you analyze the meaning of it, there is no discovery also. How? How can you discover which is covered up? How can the truth be covered up? It cannot be. The presence cannot be covered up by absence. It is illogical. है कि नहीं? Common sense. You may say it logic, but it is common sense. Anybody can say. Can day be covered up by the night? Come on. Huh? Can the light be covered up by darkness? Light is presence, darkness is absence. So in this way, no words have got any meaning. Every word will have double meaning. And this is how the present leaders, they tell something and they withdraw from whatever meaningful words they uttered in the lecture. They say it is misunderstood, mistaken. I didn't say in this purpose. I said with other view. It is easy to play with words. In this way, come on, we have to discuss how is the creation. So final is, creation is nothing but a thought process, imagination, and it can be as per your imaginations and thoughts. So there can be many differences, many contradictions in it. And finally, no contradiction when the reality is found. Reality is found as the absolute equilibrium state, and when it is disturbed, that disturbance is the cause for not seeing the real standstill position. So that is the cause for ignorance. That is cause for not being the truth being seen. reality is disturbed by the disturbance. Disturbance may be only by imbalanced state, because it was balanced and it becomes imbalanced by itself. Why by itself? Because it is absolutely one. There is no other to be cause for anything here. So, because it is absolutely transparent, absolutely clear and spotless, so if these spots are seen in it, if at all, that is, it sees its spots, that is called identity of itself, that is, it sees itself by forgetting itself. Just as the waves are seen by the river or the lake, the waves are seen by the lake. How will you understand it? The water is seeing the water, and it can be only possible. The water becomes waves, and it forgets the water hood, and it thinks of the disturbed waves. That is the only possibility. So, this is how the truth is seen as the creation, and the creator will be the first thought. When the thought process starts, the starting point will be somewhere, and that is called the creative first thought. That is creator. And before that, there will be willpower, that absolute power, absolute power to see itself. That is willpower, that is also the creative power, seeing process, and that is also knowledge power. It wants to see, so it has the knowledge to see. So knowledge power, creative power, and this willpower, three are just like three-dimensional picture. One picture, it is seen differently from different angles. These are called three qualities: sattva, rajas, tamas, willpower, knowledge power, and creative power. This is called the power, the universal power. And power means it has to go on being imbalanced. That is called disturbance, that is called cosmic willpower. And should start from some starting point, that will be smaller than the smallest position. That is Anuranyan. And when it goes on, it has got no end, no limit. So it is infinite, endless. It is called greater than the greatest. In this way, the thought process works. And why one creation? Go on creating as many as you like. You don't have to pay any tax. You are freed from taxes. Okay? How many you will create? I shall give you the certificate of exemption of taxes. I have some relationship with the with the cosmic manager. Yes. Go on creating as many worlds you like. No taxes are paid by you. Tax free. Okay? And thereby, what will be the consequence? Go on imagining. Don't act. Don't speak. Okay? Shut your mouth. Sit quiet. And a position will come. A position will come by steadiness of your body and your senses. Slowly the vital power, the breathing process also will start because it is spent, it is used for movement of the body, which we call action and reaction. So when the expenses is not there, so treasury is locked. That that is the breath will stop slowly, and then mind cannot work. The energy supply is cut off because energy is not used. Okay, your electric connection will be cut off. You are not paying any taxes. And you are not using the power also. So naturally the fuse will be off. Connection will be disconnected. So in this way the thought process has to stop. Has to stop. And this is how two processes are there to go beyond this creation, means to realize the self. One is accepting everything, that is positive way, accepting everything. That is, whatever you say, see, feel the presence of the truth in every atom. So the whole universe will be accepted by you as the truth. Vasudhaiva kutumbakam. Ayam nijah parveti gananam lakhu chetasam. The misers only think, this is mine, this is yours. They draw a line in between two. To demarcate, it is yours, it is mine. But udara charitanam tu, the broad-hearted persons, large-hearted persons, they think for the whole universe. Vasudhaiva kutumbakam. They think the whole world is my family. They think, they do, they have relation with the whole world at large. That is how Vasudhaiva kutumbakam. The whole world is my family. It is family of the beings. I am a being. So all the beings belong to my family. In botany, in zoology also, you have species and your family and subspecies. In this way, the family is bigger, larger than the species, and species will be again divided by particular you see plant in the botany, a particular being in zoology. In this way, the positive way takes you to the absolute. Whatever you see, everything is mine and I and mine. And the other way, negative way, nothing belongs to me. Nothing belongs to me. Nothing exists, nothing belongs to me. I have neither body nor mind. Immortal self am I. But if you can negate, when you negate the negative process, negation process itself, then what remains, that is the truth. When you accept everything, what remains, the whole totality, that is yourself. In this way, Vasistha wants to clarify every doubt of the creation. Finally, he says decisively that this creation is nothing but an imaginary process. And it belongs to him who imagines. Do you imagine any time? It is your world. Whosoever who imagines, this belongs to him. Everybody has to imagine only. Everything belongs to everyone. Dominating over a small particular object or some property, that is mean-mindedness, miserliness. क्या कहा गया? अयम निजाह परो वेति गणनाम लघुचेत साम. The mean-minded people, they think this is mine, this is yours. But when some special sweets come to me and some special fruits come to me, somebody offers me, then I count. I keep it in locked key. I have to distribute, of course, to everyone. One should not snack out everything. It should be given to everyone. That's how. Anyhow, this is how the position of the creation and dissolution is nothing but withdrawal of the thought process and stoppage of the thoughts. That is how narrated in path of knowledge, and that same thing is told by the path of yoga, eightfold yoga, chitta vritti nirodha. Indirectly we can say same thing to stop imagining. Chitta vritti is nothing but imagination. Got the point? On this only we are discussing in many different ways. Many different ways. This is the essence. Neither there was the golden rock, nor this rock, your so-called world. This is nothing but within a rock. What is, how do you think of rock? Rock is a solid piece, isn't it? This sky also is solid. It is not empty. Emptiness means solidity. Empty means where nothing other than one. Solidity also the same definition. There is no other definition for solid matter. There cannot be two in one. That is called solid. And empty means there cannot be two inside one. Same thing. In this way, all these universes and that golden rock wherein there was a creation, and that creation is nothing but imagination, and imagination of someone who is imagined or thought over or seen by Vasistha, and that thought remained for some time, and then it disappeared. That was narrated as the dissolution of that universe. Are you getting the point? How the language differs.
Kaivalya means solidity.
Pardon?
Kaivalya means solidity.
I don't understand your word.
That's not Kaivalya. Kaivalya, something say that Kaivalya. Kaivalya means solidity.
Kaivalya. 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 Kaivalya is nothing but union. Being one with the one. That is called Kaivalya. Union with the absolute one. Same thing is expressed in different words. Moksha means literally liberation. Kaivalya literally is union. Kaivalya mukti. And mukti means literally freedom from. You will be freed if at all you are bound. If bondage will be there, then mukti will be there. Freedom will be there. And if you think you are bound, then you have to talk about how to get free from your bondage. Of course, same thing can be discussed in other words. Process is the same. And if you are differentiated from the one, then you have to be united with the absolute one. If you feel you are different from it, then it is union. Same thing. And if you think you are something, you are a burning lamp, then you want to blow out the lamp. There should be only existence. That is called nirvana. Nirvana means to extinguish everything. Everything. To stop everything. Delete everything. Nirvana. निर्वाण दीपे किमु तैल दानम. जो बत्ती बुझ गया है उसमें तेल डालने से क्या होता है? निर्वाण मतलब जो बुझ चुका है. टू गेट extinguished, to get disappeared. That is called nirvana. literal meaning of all this. But same thing is explained in different words by different ways, by different seers. So they have used different words. Now we shall see what did Vasistha tell to रामजी. तब प्रबोध होने पर कैसे भासता है? यह कहते हैं कि प्रबोध होने पर एकमात्र स्वच्छ चिदाकाश ही अपने स्वरूप में अपने से भासता है. जब प्रबोध नहीं हो रहता है तब चिदाकाश ही जगत रूप से वैसा भासता है, यह निश्चित है. Now he gives the conclusion and he uses the other language also. Not mukti, not nirvana, not union, but he says prabodh. Just as Buddha Dev said, I am enlightened. What is enlightenment? Enlightenment means the presence of the all-pervading light in this place of darkness. That is called enlightenment. Light to enlighten, and enlightenment to be one with the light. Light means absolute light, self-effulgent light, which is not caused by any other cause, which is not enlightened by some other light. Generally we see all the lights who are in this creation, whatever kind of lights, even the sun and moon and stars, they are not self-effulgent. Of course, you may demand, you may claim, sun is self-effulgent light, isn't it?
There is another word is there, Shunya Sampadana in Kannada.
Shunya?
Shunya means zero. Shunya Sampadana, nothing, that is Kannada word.
Shunya we use also Shunya. Buddha Deva also, not Buddha Deva, but followers of the Buddha Deva, they use the word Shunya for the absolute. Shunya has, just now we are discussing, just now, did you not hear? The emptiness is called zero, and that emptiness is also meant by fullness. Emptiness means where there is nothing, which is empty, and solidity also where there is nothing, oneness only. Oneness is known as emptiness and shunya, and oneness is also named as one. One and zero, they have no difference. Zero, if you shape something, some round shape, you call it zero. It also, when you count, you have to count as 1, 0. You start with 1, and 1 means it is full. It is not divided, isn't it? So, 0 also is full, total, round. So, 1 means full, 0 also full. But in mathematics, we have meant the zero as infinite, but one has got some expectation of the second and third, all these expectations of other digits. But zero has got no expectation. It is infinite. This is how it is known as zero and empty, and one is full, and it has got possibility of the two. But possibility of the two, nowhere in mathematics you can make it two without dividing the one. Or dividing means to multiply. When you divide the one into two, one becomes two only. Those two are not full. One is full. If you see the digit 2 in mathematics, it is nothing but addition of two ones. That means repetition of one. No digit you can bring without repeating one. One is a common factor in all these digits. You cannot absent the one from any digit, go to million or billion or any number you know. Is it not? So one is full and zero is infinite, boundless. Same thing. That's how zero also is counted as 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0. Isn't it? Same thing, and zero is invented by whom? Indian mathematician. क्या नाम उनका? Aryabhat. When zero was brought to our Vedic mathematics, then mathematics becomes easier than before. When one is full, that is not expressed completely without the zero, which is infinite. How much it is extended? One is full, isn't it? But that fullness is completely explained by one. So infinite, there is no end to it, limitless. Then only one is defined correctly. That's how the subtle calculations of mathematics became easier when zero is found.
Zero is like Shakti.
Yes, we can say, because it is infinite. Zero has got many meanings because it is infinite. So it is empty also. Empty cannot be divided, but full cannot be divided. If you divide the one either by decimals or by dividing it into many parts, even then you get some digits. 1 divided by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, 1 by 1 you have to imagine first. 1 by 1 is 1. Then comes 2. You cannot give out the 1 by any means in mathematics. And similarly, the zero also cannot be divided. All other imaginary digits, whatever you imagine, 2, 3, go on, all those are divisible and they have the common factor 1 everywhere. You cannot give up 1 from any digit. That's how the truth 1 is hidden in all these 2, 3, many. Mathematically we can prove also. Geometrically we can prove also. Geometry is nothing but science of knowledge of our space and chemically also we can, by chemistry, physics, any way you bring it, we can prove the absolute 1 only. Logic goes so far. Logic and analytical vision and examples and justice. You have to justify without being partial. Then only you can reach the decision. In this way, Vasistha says, important point, Ramji, if at all Ramji tried to ask, he asked beforehand. It is expected, just as I always tell you, why don't you ask like this? This question is expected. So Vasistha says, if you think when the creation is dissolved, how it looks like. The vision is of 2 kinds, from relative point of vision and from absolute point of vision. Everywhere there is opposites. So from the worldly point of view means, relative point of view means, it is seen by the ignorant persons, worldly persons. How do they see? They see it as real, with names and forms which are ever changing. They think it is real. That's how they are called ignorant persons. And how does it look? By the seer, a wise seer, a jnani seer. Do they see this world? Yes, they see this world. How the Gita explains it? What is darkness for the great wise seers, that is day for the worldly people. That means day means reality, light, reality. What worldly people take as reality, that becomes unreality for the wise people. So just as day and night, light and darkness, similarly it is explained in Gita. Lord Krishna says, night is darkness, that means where you don't see anything, that means ignorance about the names and forms. Isn't it? That is called darkness. Ignorance is due to darkness, and that is darkness. Similarly, when there is light, you see everything clearly. So that is knowledge. Seeing means getting the information, knowledge about the names and forms. So, Light is knowledge, darkness is ignorance. Day is knowledge and night is ignorance. So it is opposite to each other. So ignorant persons see this world as reality, and the wise people see this world as ignorance, means absent. It did not exist at all. So how does it look like? How does the night look like? What is your answer? How you explain the night? That's how Krishna wisely explained it. The wise people see it as darkness, night. Darkness is called night. Light is day. Knowledge is day. Darkness is night, means ignorance. At night you see nothing. So Vasistha ji is telling जब प्रबोध नहीं रहता है तब चिदात्मा ही जगत रूप से वैसा भासता है, यह निश्चित है. If you don't have the real knowledge, reality, that is called realization of the truth. To see the truth. And that seeing is nothing but being. You have been the world. That's how you are called being of the world. The imagination has been something. So you are called a being because you have been. Take a form. And the wise men, they feel oneness with the Absolute, so they don't see any beings anywhere. They are not beings. They are the been, ever been. They are not being. They have been. They have been one with the Absolute. So they are not different beings. In this way, the wise man, he never sees the truth different than the truth. The wise man sees the lake as water, but the ignorant sees the lake with full of reflections in the sides and full of waves in the whole surface. Wise man never sees all this. He sees the water everywhere. But the ignorant person, he sees the reflection of the whole plants in the bank of the lake, which are reflected in the water, isn't it? Say, have you gone to Chowpatty at night in Bombay? How do you see the reflections in that watery bank? The water you don't see, only reflections of different colored lights. Similarly, if you see some village at night from a distance, from a height, then you don't see any village, but different lights. So the jnanis see only light. They don't see the darkness even at night. But ignorant persons who are abiding in the village, they don't see the light. They see each other, they see their houses, their cattle, and everything they see, because they are in the darkness. You see the light from a distance. You are the seer, isn't it? They are the user of the light. You are the seer of the light. You are the witness of it. Of course, this is an example from a distance. Otherwise, they are in the light, you are away from light, just opposite of it. Isn't it?
They are light and I am darkness.
Yes. But from darkness you can see the light. Isn't it? You can imagine what is light. So for a wise man, there is no world at all. There is no imagination at all, because their mind is standstill. So no imaginations. So no world. When we have proved the world is nothing but imaginations, a series of unending imaginations. So, for a wise man there is no imaginations, means for a yogi also there is no imagination, so there is no world. And if at all they have some mind, they start imagining. Whatever they like, they can imagine. That's how yogis have all the powers. They can start the mind as they like. They are masters of their mind. That is otherwise known as all these siddhis, powers. Riddhi, siddhi. Power is all the name of all these. So that controlling is the power, siddhi. The end. भात सिद्ध हो गया, चावल सिद्ध हो गया, सब्जी सिद्ध हो गया या नहीं, कच्चा है, सिद्ध हो गया मतलब it has reached its end, height. That is called siddhi. And in between all these milestones are not the aim. Of course, milestones are a kind of siddhis, achievements, which may dupe you if you stop there. If you collect all these milestones, you cannot reach the goal. They are only indicators. Understood? Don't try for siddhis. Khechari. The siddhi, real siddhi, is known as achievement of the highest, reaching the goal. And that is indicated by full equilibrium, which is called balanced state, which is known by the word samattam, samattam yoga uchyate. In Yoga Sutra, balance is called, oneness is called yoga. Yoga has different definitions. Skill is yoga. Stopping the movement of the mind is called yoga. Skill is yoga. And also, what do you call? The oneness, stopping the mind means stopping your imaginations and being one with the Absolute. bring balance, not to be disturbed. That is called yoga. So, jnanis never see anything other than the light. You see, you try, experiment it. If you are standing in more lighted areas and go to the dark areas, you cannot see anything for a while. From bright sun, if you enter into a room, your eyes will be dazzling, you will not see anything. Understood? This is the example. How do the wise men see the world? They see nothing. They have open eyes, but see nothing because they are in the light. This is for a moment. This is how the wise men see. And if you are in darkness, you can see the light. Huh? I shall give you an example. A story. Once I was celebrating Janmashtami in Ujjaili in some ashram. I was staying there. It is long before, in 64. First few months I was in Ujjaili, then I came here in 64. So I was staying there. It was Janmashtami. I asked the Ashramites, they were not observing Janmashtami. I initiated it there. Swamiji, why don't you celebrate Janmashtami here? I shall arrange everything. You just arrange for night tea and some prasad and other things I shall arrange. So I arranged for some Lord Krishna's murti or photo and decoration, and in a hall I arranged everything. So I want flowers to decorate. I have no money. I go and steal the flowers. This is my old habit. Stealing. So, 2-3 days before, I went on observing in whole Uttarakashi, where are the flower gardens and how they are, where can I get some flowers. So, one day I saw so much flowers in our forest bungalow. Outside the bungalow, beautiful garden, full of flowers. I used to go for a walk, evening walk, and I have the plan now. I shall take all these flowers before night. So how can I steal all those? I went at night. I went around. I saw some officers, DFO, and some other subordinates. They were doing some office work in the main hall, and with a bright, क्या कहते हैं इसका, fax, क्या, flashlight. In those days, they used to use Petromax. There was no electricity here. It is the story of 1964. So, so what I did, I entered to the, it was full of flashlight inside the room. I knew they cannot see anything outside. So I entered freely into the garden and plucked all the flowers. I had a big bag, filled it up, and silently I came. Of course, once they came out outside after tea to do something, wash their hands. At that time, when they came out, I kept quiet inside the bushes. The bushes were not, they were not moving at all. So they had no idea about anything. Somebody is taking all those flowers. I cheated them and plucked all the flowers. Next day, not a single flower was available. In the same way, from our garden, flower garden in Rishikesh, on some Ramanavami day, I went at night and brought all the flowers from our garden and made garlands, offered it to Gurudev, and our decorator in my temple, he went to the garden for flowers, got nothing. Who has taken all these? When they saw the same flowers with Gurudev, who has brought it? Then only I was caught. I told them, I brought it at night. Nobody could see me. I was a great flowers thief. In darkness, if somebody is there in the light, he cannot see what is going on in darkness. But if you are in darkness, you can see what is going on in light. So you will have a nice question here. Why the ignorant people in the world who are in the night can't see the light? Is it not? Why don't you ask? You go deep to such depth. A man with eyes only can see the light, whether it is from darkness or it is within the light. It is all the same. But blinds cannot see the light, even in light, day nor at night in darkness. Ignorance means they have not no eye to see. That is called darkness. Understood now what is darkness? Not being able to see, that is called darkness. It is not only night or that our physical night or darkness. It is inability of vision. That is called darkness. Understood now? This is the inner meaning of darkness. Invisibility is called darkness. You should understand what is called darkness. समझे? सवाल करेंगे तभी तो समझेंगे. Tomorrow we shall see further the vision of knowledgeable persons, wise people, realized souls. How do they see this world? This is the question. Okay? Somewhat we have discussed today, and tomorrow we shall see further.
But your garden you are keeping it locked. If I pluck something, you can buy.
I know the ways of the thieves because I have been a thief. So I can catch the thief. You have to be in same level. There is relationship in similarities. Did you forget it? I have to be a thief to catch the thief. This is reality. The spies, they are greatest thieves. Then only they can hide everything. You have to be a thief to catch a thief. Understood now? Don't think I will not catch you. Now another thing, this garden, what you see here, it is not my garden. It belongs to the Banamali. Kunjamana Bihari. But it is not to be garlanded by these flowers. He goes in and enjoys these flowers himself by seeing the flowers. And his name is not only Banmali or the owner of the garden or the क्या कहा कुंज बिहारी wanderer in the gardens, bushes. This is not his name. His name is Puspahasa. He laughs, he is pleased by seeing the flowers, or his laughter is due to flower or like flower or the unfoldment of the flowers is his being. He unfolds himself like the birds unfold themselves into a flower and they laugh like a laughter of the flower. That is the meaning of Puspahasa. Understood? So he enjoys the flowers by seeing, by expressing himself, and by laughing means enjoying like the flowers. Puspahasa. Hari Om. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnad Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Sabda Brahma ki jai. Saraswati Maharani ki jai. Vasistha Bhagavan ki jai. Hari Om.